The clip we're about to watch with Bannon. Pay very careful attention to what he's saying, because on the one hand, we have Bannon saying this shit, which he's been saying for a while, but this is a big interview, guys. This was with The Economist. Then we're going to look at The Economist, how they promoted this interview. And then we have to look at another clip of Trump from a news conference like a day ago, where Trump says some shit that sort of coalesces with this shit and makes us all realize that, like, guys, we got to start taking notice here, and we got to start thinking of how we're going to handle this, because I think this clip with Bannon and the clip I'm going to show you from Trump paints a pretty clear picture of what they're going to try, that the wheels are in motion. And the Trump clip is really chilling in relation to this one. The arrogance of this is just gnarly, boss.
Well, he's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States, and the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started. And the way we finish it through Trump, Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious, but he's an instrument of divine will. And you can tell this of how he's pulled this off. We need him for at least one more term, right? And he'll get that in 28.
You're not driving me crazy. I'm trying to understand the coherence of the things you've just told me in the last few minutes. On the one hand, you've said the Constitution is fit for purpose. Secondly, you've said that President Trump needs another term, even though the 22nd Amendment makes pretty clear that he cannot have another term.
Why does it make that clear?
Because he's on his second term already.
At some point in time, we will make sure we go through, Zanny, and define all those terms.
Okay? But even if you find a way to undermine you will be undermining the spirit of that amendment, even if you find some way around it. And to those
Can the American people, if the American people with the mechanism...
Dude, we're going to pause right there, because let's look at the 22nd Amendment, okay? And let's look at the text of it. It's real simple. Section 1, no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice, okay? And no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of the president more than once. But this article shall not apply to any person holding the office of the president when this article was proposed by Congress, which was not recently, and shall not prevent any person who may be holding the office of president or acting as president during the term within which this article becomes operative from holding the office of president or acting as president during the remainder of such term. So that only applied to the people who were president when they were drafting this and when it got ratified. And it says this article shall be inoperative unless it shall have been ratified as an amendment to the Constitution by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states within 7 years from the date of its submission to the states by Congress. So that's pretty clear. No person shall be elected more than twice. Now, I mean, dude, I don't know what their plan around this is, basically saying that, you know, they're not going to elect him, right? If there's not going to be an election and they're simply going to, like, decree him or something, but it says no person shall be elected, and it's pretty fucking clear. But let's just unpack this for a minute, though, because here is Steve Bannon making a lot of claims here. He's saying that Trump is a divine, right? He's some sort of, you know, instrument of divine providence, I believe is how he put it, which is real fucking problematic, guys. Okay? That they're trying to say like, oh, Trump is like a divine intervention. He's been chosen by the divine, so therefore we're superseding the US Constitution. And this idea that he deserves it, needs to have it, Constitution doesn't matter. Think about how batshit this is, guys. That there are people doing legitimate interviews, walking around now saying that, you know, oh, hey guys, this guy's been chosen by divine providence. So therefore the rules, the Constitution, yeah, none of that applies. He gets a third term. I mean, dude, this bothers me, guys, because this shit to me is like a declaration of war. It is. If they try to run Trump in 2028, that's treason. And that is, to me, it's a declaration of war. At that point, we're going to war against Trump. And we have to, you know, 100%. And I mean, I want to reach out to my legislators already and see like what our plan is, because we should be building a military coalition. You know, that's the No Trump 2028 international coalition, like FAFO, you orange piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this shit is crazy.
At some point in time, we will make sure we go through, Zanny, and define all those terms.
But even if you find a way to undermine you will be undermining the spirit of that amendment, even if you find some way around it. And to those
Can the American people, if the American people, with the mechanisms we have, put Trump back in office, are the American people tearing up the Constitution? Would that be tearing up?
Well,
would the American people be going against the spirit of the Constitution, ma'am?
I think yes, actually, because I think what you will end up with is a populist justification for a quasi-dictatorship.
That's not true at all. Trump
That's what it sounds like.
It's not. Trump is a dictatorship. Did you just see the compromises he had to make on the big, beautiful bill? You see the compromises he has to do on everything, on accommodating Zelensky, on what President Trump. President Trump is nothing but a series of negotiations to kind of keep this thing rolling forward, where he's having trade-offs all the time.
But Steve, you've just spent the last 20 minutes telling me we have to smash the other side. There's no room for debate. There's no room for compromise. We must smash them. And now you're telling me this is a negotiation. I mean, that's
no.
I guess that's why it seems to me some kind of tension
First
there.
off, the only way President Trump wins in 2028 and continues to stay in office is by the will of the American people. Okay? And the will of the American people...
Dude, the will of the American people doesn't fucking mean shit. The will of the U.S. Constitution that governs the American people says he is ineligible. All right? So it doesn't matter what the people want. The will of the people could want to dissolve Congress. It doesn't work like that there, Bannon. Jesus Christ, dude. How many pints of fucking gin did this guy swill before he took the stage here? Jesus Christ, bro. Like, what is going on, dude? These Epstein motherfuckers are a vivid bunch, bro.
Is what the Constitution embodies. And so I think we're going to be in good hands there. We need to finish what we started. And President Trump is the instrument, a providential instrument to finish this job.
Okay, so there's the clip, which is outrageous. The fact that they're entertaining this shit. But now, can I show you the way the Economist framed this, guys? Because this pissed me off. Look at this tweet. It says, Steve Bannon insists that Donald Trump will be president again for a third term in 2028, and that America needs him to. Mr. Bannon, one of the chief architects of the MAGA movement, spoke to Zanny Minton-Beddoes, our editor-in-chief, and Ed Carr, our deputy editor in D.C. At The Economist, we believe it is important to engage seriously with people whose ideas challenge our own. The ideas Mr. Bannon champions are gaining traction across America and beyond. So these fuckers said they believe it's important to engage seriously with people whose ideas challenge our own. He's not challenging our ideas. He's suggesting to light the Constitution on fire, and that Trump is a fucking, a godlike divine individual that was anointed, and so therefore we should just overturn the US government for him. And then they say that Mr. Bannon's ideas are gaining traction. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? If Trump tries this, we go to war against him. Okay? Bannon is suggesting Trump commits treason, and you guys are just aloof. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. The fuck is wrong with The Economist? We should not be engaging seriously with people that are actively suggesting the president engage in treason because he's been anointed by God. This is some bullshit, bro. Now, watch what Trump says in this clip, because I think this dovetails with what Bannon just said there when we break down the actual words that Trump uses here. You ready? Let's watch this. Pay very close attention to the words that Trump says.
Or really, I think it's got to be handled in a proper way. If it's not handled in a proper way, we don't want it to happen again. We can never let what happened in the 2020 election happen again. We just can't let that happen. And so the way we go, I know 𝗙𝗍𝗃 working on it, everybody's working on it, and certainly 𝗙𝚪's working on it. We can't let that happen again to our country. Look at what's happened where you have millions of people being allowed to come into our country, all because of a crooked election.
So what he says here is we can't have what happened in the 2020 election happen again. And that's where the Republicans lost, okay? And he says that Cash is working on it, everyone's working on it, 𝗙𝚪's working on it, right? And he's still making these claims that the election was rigged, which it was not. They have no proof. They've never had any proof. There is no proof. That was a fucking legitimate election. Everybody was horrified by this guy. But the fact that he's basically telegraphing, that everybody is working on making sure that the Democrats never win an election again. I feel like this really ties in with what Bannon was saying, doesn't it? It's like Bannon is right. Bannon is talking about how he's a divine instrument and he's definitely going to be president in 2028. And Trump is basically saying everyone in intelligence and in the FBI is working to make sure that, the Republicans don't lose ever again, that what happened in 2020 never happens again, which was simply him losing. Dude, this shit is fucked up, bro. The fact that they are basically openly talking about making sure that they never lose another election. Are the blue states, are we building a military coalition now? Right? Are we? Because to me, if we get into 2028 and there's talk of Trump staying in the presidency, to me, that's an act of war, man. They're at that point, the Trump admin would need to be forcibly removed from power. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.